Hello world of YouTube. Since I'm doing a co-op Let's Play with Shaken, I've been doing actually a lot of video gaming lately, more than usual, and more than the other stuff on my channel, like music and stuff, even though I'm always listening to music. I've been doing a lot of video gaming, and I figured I'd let you guys in on my insight with video games with my top 11 favorite video game franchises of all time. Now, I did a video a while back with Jesse and Brad on video games, our top 11 video games of all time. I'll have to re-edit that footage and re-upload it because it's a part of like a huge night where we did a lot of list filming. That's just a lot of footage I haven't been able to sort through. But, nonetheless, there are two franchises on here that I do love, or at least one of them I really love, and the other one I'd really like to get more into. They're both made by the same company, too. Portal and Half-Life. Now, people may not consider Portal a franchise. I do. I love the Portal games. Both of them, perfection, upgraded from each one. Great humor, great games. I don't know why I didn't remember them when I was putting this list together, but I'm solidified with this list for my own reasons. Half-Life, I've only played Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Episode 2. I haven't played Half-Life 1 or any of the expansions, so I can't really give that justification on this list. So, yeah. Or in the Left 4 Dead franchise as well. Valve's not on this list at all, but I love Valve, one of my favorite developers. I've been playing a lot of their games the past few years. I think they're fucking amazing. Left 4 Dead, another fantastic franchise, along with Dead Rising. I'm just thinking of more franchises that are not on this list, and I could keep going on and on. Love those two zombie franchises, but I'm going to get started on this list with number 11, Final Fantasy. Yes, Final Fantasy is this low on this list, and I know every Final Fantasy fan's like, fuck this guy, doesn't like Final Fantasy, not in his top 5, Urgh. Well, more people are going to be more pissed off at me by the end of this video anyway, so, but, it's not that I hate Final Fantasy. I put them above some games that I really fucking love, like Portal. The reason why Final Fantasy is not higher on this list is because I haven't played a lot of them. I've played 4 on the Advance. I played Tactics Advance. I played Tactics 2 for the DS. I played most of 10. I played parts of 8. And I think that's about it. I'm very lacking in the Final Fantasy franchise wagon, but I'd love to play more of them. I just, one, don't have the time anymore. Those games are long, and I know there's bad ones out there, but I've never played a bad one. So, yeah. Number 10, this is going to be huge. This is going to piss off Final Fantasy fans even more. Bioshock. Why Bioshock is ahead of Final Fantasy and ahead of a lot of other great games is because even though the second one wasn't as good as the first one, the stories in both were well written and well drawn out. I love both games. I have plans to get a Bioshock tattoo. I fucking love Dead Space, another great franchise I forgot, sorry, but Bioshock, love both games, cannot wait for the new one. What I like about the new one is that they're putting the same style, not even the same style, they're making a new universe, and I'm hoping somehow they bridge Rapture into the new place in Infinite, and make it all make sense. So, I mean, I like that they're being ambitious with this franchise, and I hope that they keep being ambitious with it, because it shows this is a game franchise that's not going to be like a lot of other franchises. Because Final Fantasy, yeah, they change it up every game, and they've had a few direct sequels, but I feel Bioshock is going to be a little bit different than that. So, I mean, I have a lot of faith in this franchise. That's why I put it on this list in general. Besides the fact that the games are fucking amazing. But yeah, Bioshock, number 10. Number 9, Pokemon. Now I'm just saying, what kind of guy puts Pokemon on his franchise list? I grew up with those games, man. I had Blue on my Game Boy Pocket. Like, way back in the day, playing Pokemon. You know, getting Missing Number. And then, I kind of fell off base with it after Silver. I got Ruby, like, midway through its tenure. Then I got Fire Red, then I got really back into it, and I fell out again. Then I got back in. Like, it's a franchise that I cannot get away from. Like, I have Black. Haven't beaten it yet. I've fallen off the Pokemon thing, but I've been wanting to go back to it. Like, I've been yearning to go back to this new Pokemon game. So, I do love the game, and I think that it should be every new gamers' first RPG, because that's a fantastic introduction into the RPG universe, in my opinion. So, yeah, when I have a kid, I'm going to give him Pokemon and go, hey, I played this when I was a kid, I think you're going to enjoy this. And when he goes, I fucking love this, I'm going to be like, I fucking told you, dude, high five. Hopefully my kid won't actually be a vulgar person at that young of an age, but who the hell knows. In at number 8 is a franchise from my childhood, Mortal Kombat. I actually own every Mortal Kombat game up to Armageddon on the original consoles. I need to get DC, and I need to get a new one, because I played the new one. It's fucking awesome. And now they've announced Freddy Krueger as a character. They have fucking just this great game on their hands. They've kind of brought me back as a fan, because when DC came out, I was kind of pissed, because that game wasn't really good, in my opinion, as a die-hard Mortal Kombat fan. It's probably the biggest part of my childhood is Mortal Kombat. I mean, I played the shit out of every single one of them. My Rage Quit would tell you otherwise, but I love the games. Something about Mortal Kombat, to me, sets it apart from most fighters. I mean, I like the mythos within the game that the creators made. Like, they made Netherrealm. They made all of these dimensions and these characters within the dimensions, and I love that. It's like an animated comic book. It becomes an animated comic book to me. Like, it becomes a true tale told within a game in, like, a really cool way. That's just my thoughts on the franchise. I think it's amazing. Raiden, and Liu Kang, and Johnny Cage are my 3 characters of choice. Sucker. But, moving on. Resident Evil is number 7. I love zombies. And again, this is a franchise that's been around with me for forever. I didn't start playing the games until around the 4th one. But I watched my dad beat the 2nd one. I watched my mom beat the 1st one. I never played the 3rd one. I have the 3rd one. I'm borrowing it. But, I mean, actually no, that's a lie. I started playing at around the Code Veronica days. Code Veronica X on the PS2 was my first Resident Evil experience. That game scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. And then Outbreak was even worse, because that cutscene scared the living Christ out of me when I was, like, really young. But I love the franchise. I think that they've kind of dipped in a way, but hopefully they bring themselves back with newer games. The movies suck. That's just my opinion. But I still love the games. I still love the franchise. Like, I played 5, and while I hate that they're not zombies, it's a fun action game. So, it has some pros and cons to each game. I think if they reintroduced the old camera mechanics, everyone would get pissed off. I'd honestly love it, because that was an element of the game that I loved. The fact that you didn't know what was around the corner, you didn't know what the fuck was coming. It just made for a great horror game. So, but yeah, love Resident Evil. Fantastic franchise. And this one is going to cause a lot of comments. And at number 6 is the Super Mario franchise. Now, why it's not even in my top 5, I didn't grow up with Mario. The first Mario game I had was Super Mario 64. While that's a great game, I didn't start getting into Mario until later on in life, so I didn't have that childhood upbringing with Mario. The games are fantastic. I played more Mario games than most of the games franchises on this list. I mean, and Mario's made some of my favorite games of all time. Like, that franchise has spawned, like, Yoshi's Island. I fucking love Yoshi's Island. I played the shit out of that game. Mario RPG and Legend of 7 Stars. Love that game. I remember spending days, months with my best friend in Idaho. We were just chilling in his basement, playing the game, doing a shitload of stuff in that. Mario World did the same thing with that with my friend. We did the Star World. We did all the secret crap on the SNES. And, I mean, it's not that I don't have memories associated with Mario. That's why he's on this list. But I didn't grow up with Mario until later on in life. So, that's why he's at number 6 and not in my top 5. I'm preparing for the troll comments or the hate comments. Sorry. Nyeh. And now for the top 5. And at number 5, and again, because of who number 6 is, I'm expecting comments for number 5. Number 5 is Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, it's because I grew up with Sonic. I had a Genesis. Before I had any other system, it was a Genesis. My first game, which I still have, Sonic & Knuckles. I just love the Sonic franchise up to a certain point, like everyone else, but my certain point ends at around the Adventure 2 area, and the Advance games. The Advance games are fun, but I'm stoked for Sonic Generations. I played the demo. It looks like a really good return to form. Not like the fucking Werewolf, which I played and I didn't hate, but I know I would hate it eventually. So, yeah, I didn't even play 2006, and I never gave into the Riders crap. But I did play, I didn't play Colors either, but I played, there's a newer Sonic game. No, I didn't play it, but I wanted to play it, the Black Knight. I wanted to play it, even though he had a sword and all that shit. I wanted to play it because it looked interesting. But, Sonic, yeah, number 5. The top 3 of the top 4 are Nintendo franchises. That should make you feel better. And speaking of which, number 4 is Kirby. Yes, Kirby is above Mario because I have more of an attachment to Kirby games. Like I was doing Nightmare in Dreamland, which has to be put on indefinite hold because I cannot seem to get my capture to work. But I had more Kirby games growing up than I did Mario games. I played more Kirby games, or I have played more Kirby games for longer periods of time than really a lot of Mario games. As I mentioned in my Let's Play, I like that they take Kirby into different realms with the games. Like Epic Yarn is this Yarn game where it's like the gameplay mechanics are different than normal. And they had, you know, the mini golf games, and they had the tilt function games, and they utilize Kirby in so many different ways that I really enjoy, and I like that they take that creative step with that character. So, yeah. And then number 3 is the Metroid franchise. Now, I've played even less Metroid than I have Kirby, Sonic, and Mario, but the reason why Metroid is so high on my list is because I love exploration. I love finding places in games, and Metroid really becomes that kind of game. Even in the early stuff, they just dropped you, and they were like, good luck. Like in the first game, they literally drop you in the area, and they're like, good luck finding your way around this place. I like that. I mean, it's kind of irritating at first, but then you're like, alright, I can get into this, and you have a fun time with the game. All the Metroid games are just great exploration action titles, and I like, you know, the way, I even like the first-person games, like Metroid Prime Hunters. I've wasted months of my life on, both online and offline. I think that it's a franchise that I wish they made more games of now, because I didn't play Other M, but I heard it was terrible. But, I mean, that's one bad Metroid game out of the tons of great ones. I want them to make more Metroid games, and I'm hoping they will at some point in the future. But, yeah, I fucking love Metroid. I think it's a fucking great franchise. But yeah. Number 2, Castlevania. For pretty much the same reason as Metroid. I love exploration. The difference being, I also like the whole, you know, badass vampires, you know, you're fighting badass vampires, and the universe developed around Castlevania, and I even like the 3D games to an extent. I mean, I'm not a big fan of them, but I like them to an extent. I mean, I prefer the 2D stuff, that's why I played a lot of the handheld games, and my favorite is a handheld title. And at number 1, shouldn't be a surprise if you've seen me, if you know who I am, it's Zelda. I have Link tattooed on my arm, for Christ's sake. Love the Zelda games for pretty much the same reason as 2 and 3. I love exploration, but I also love the stories that Zelda tells. You know, it's different with Castlevania and Metroid. Zelda tells kind of the same story in different ways. The difference being in a few games, like the Oracle games, Majora's Mask in a way, where you're kind of put in this different quest for the main character. And, you know, the universe that they put you in is different in some way in just about every single game. You know, Wind Waker, you're in this vast open world that you sail. You know, it's kind of the same formula, but done, interpreted differently in each game. And I love that. I think that Zelda will live forever, along with pretty much all of these game franchises. I think that the games in them are solid. I think that really Zelda has done no wrong, excluding the CD games. Those never count. No one ever counts those games. But aside from those, I don't think Zelda's ever made a bad game. 2, borderline's terrible, but it's, I try to find fun in it. But it's still my favorite game franchise of all time. It's fucking amazing. The score is always amazing. Koji Kondo just conducts his ass off on those games, and I fucking enjoy it to the max. The characters are so animated and fun. You know, it's a great franchise, and they've done so much with it. And I cannot wait for Skyward Sword. So that's my top 11 game franchises of all time. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you get to know more about me as a person through what I like. You guys have good days, love situations. I will see you another day.